sitting here passing the time while I'm doing the nuts. And he had a little girl who sat and listened to Sam Kinison, and he made her laugh. I wasn't expecting that. She said, "This guy's unhinged." So I went to go and see what she laughed, because it's about marriage, The other guy's going to take their dick. And then the moving vans, I thought that would offend her, but it didn't. She was just like, "Oh, okay." It's we need restoration of our valleys. I don't know. We need to restore our ecosystems. They've been hideously damaged by human aggression, and there are oases in parts of deserts and stuff, and people are forced to live in certain areas because of tribalism and genocidal sexual warfare. And when people react violently to each other's selfishness, it causes psychotic breaks that cause biological and psychological conditioning that perpetuates for tens of thousands of years, like they say on the BBC. These people have been in tribal warfare, and it's like, yeah, and you're making money off of it. And so, but money's not real. Okay. Money is a human invention for the evil to manipulate the stupid. And when you understand that, it's like you get your time back. Like John Lennon tried to talk about, because he listened to Krishnamurti and Alan Watts, and you don't realize it when you're young, because you just hear the musicians that are on the radio stations selling stuff, right? You don't know that these musicians go and, that's Jiddu Krishnamurti. That's the guy that's supposed to be like the Buddha. That's Alan Watts. He's influenced by D.T. Suzuki, who, is a Zen Buddhist monk, And so they have all this stuff, and you don't realize. You kind of, no, because when George Harrison became a Hare Krishna, a lot of people that went to Krishnamurti to try to, if they really want to see Lord, he told them, what are you doing? I'm not the Krishna you're looking for. He upset people. He upset people because he didn't tell them what they wanted to hear. He told them, if you want the world to be a better place, then be the best person you can possibly be. Well, what if that doesn't work? How's that not work? And then they get mad. And it's like, well, I want everybody to change. It's like, yeah, so do I. But that's not, I want a toilet made out of solid gold, but that's not exactly in the cards now, is it? Like with I want to hump a lot on Austin Powers, right? And so when you cannot want your way, you have to be the righteous way to understanding the fulfillment of needs through faithful love. Righteousness rules. So I'll forgive you this time, for you are being very ignorant, not insignificant. So I also listened to these reaction videos from this kiddo. I forgot his name, but he's Gen Z first time reaction to. There's Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Does anyone know where the love of God goes when the waves turn the minutes to hours? And he, at first he was doing a reaction to Pavarotti, right? And he was raised playing classical piano, but he never heard, a lot of opera. He went and listened to it, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, this man is so impressive." And yeah, he very much is. The way he can, his range is just perfect. And it's gorgeous, right? And then he goes and listens to Bobby Hatley. "Oh, my love, my darling." He's like, "This guy has one of the best verses I've ever heard." Yeah, he does. And then he's like, I went to look to see if he says, "You get one voice, baby, baby, I'd get down on my knees for you." I think he'd be equally impressed. I know he probably did make a reaction video, but with Bill Medley's voice, because Bill's voice is, damn. No, he has a good. He's like, what do you call him, a baritone, or I don't know what you call him. Is he a baritone? But he's, "Girl, I can't let you do this, let you walk away." His voice and the way he boom. When Bill picks up the mic and lets you have it. All the girls go, "Oh, oh, oh," Girl, how can I get through this when you're all I wake up? And then you got Bobby coming in, you're my soul and you're like, damn. Okay. They're like the perfect mix of, deep and high. They're cool. Okay. Righteous. They're righteous. That was righteous, brother. Yeah. And then what else did he do? Oh, then he did More Than a Feeling. Yeah. And he's like, why don't we have more bands like this, man? Why don't they, the way they do this? And then no, he's right. It was neat the way that I love the way that they do that too. I was like Peace of Mind too. All I want is to have my peace of. Take a look ahead. Take a look ahead. Look ahead. You're like, yeah, I love it. Right? Anybody else like Boston a lot? Oh, I love More Than a Feeling and Peace of Mind. Oh yeah, God, Gravy, they're good. Yeah. And so there was another one. I can't remember. We're ready now. Yeah, but my two favorites are the two I like the best are Peace of Mind and More Than a Feeling. And yeah, I agree with him. Those are just like really good. Then he went and he did Bread, and he said this was really good too. I like the bass and guitar, and I hadn't really paid particular attention, but when he points it out, I'm like, yeah. It really kind of holds the whole melody together with the strength of the, I wasn't paying attention to, and the strings, and, that's when I wanted to sit there and go, you need to listen to Holding On to Yesterday by Ambrosia, man, if you dig the strings. And he also did Toto's, it's not in the way that you tell me, it's not in the way you've been treating my friends. I love that dude's voice. Yeah, I remember the first time I ever, when all I want to do in the middle of the evening is hold you tight. And I'm like, that guy's voice, man. Rosanna. Because it's just like, that guy's voice is so strong. It was good. Gravy, he's good, right? Yeah, and they said both their dads, the two leads, their dads were musicians, which makes sense. Because they're both really talented. They're really talented musicians. And the guy's voice is, yeah. Hold the line. Love isn't always. And he's good, right? And you're like, yeah, I got to probably put that on my MP3. Do I have that? I don't know if I have Hold the Line. But I think Rosanna's also good too. All I want to do when I wake up in the morning is see your eyes. Rosanna. Yeah, that's a good tone. Not quite a year since she went away. They did the 50s, 60s thing and the 70s probably from their dad's bands. Rosanna, yeah, now she's gone. And I have to say, need you all the way. Yeah, hey, you. And boom, and you're like, yeah, this is cool, man. Yeah, so I was with the kiddo. I was like, yeah, man, yeah, it was pretty cool. So I was watching the kid just passing time. Yeah, so I don't think we're doing time. Time is our gift, and we have to try our best to share it properly. But we're not doing that right now. But I'm working on it. Because I talk to people, like I told you stuff about the last one about Babaker. It's like, no, we talk, but did Jesus have a cell phone? In year one, did Jesus have a cell phone? I understand he could have better than a cell phone, and if he's in the future, right? Better than a cell phone. Is it better than a cell phone? Better than a cell phone. Is it better connects? No, just kidding around, but Jesus did not have a cell phone. Daniel did not have a cell phone. Muhammad did not have a cell phone. Okay. And then you get all those people, you can talk to us, Jesus. Okay, but have you read the Bible? Right. Okay, so they're not always talking to Jesus. This one's Michael, that one's Gabriel. It happens in the Bible. They're Jesus's heaven buddies. Jesus is in heaven, and Michael, Gabriel are two of his angels, so you can talk to the angels. Really? Yeah. There any more angels in heaven, Jesus? Shut up, Jesus. You're so obnoxious. He goes, yes, there's angels in heaven, people that want to live the truth of the Gospels. You can talk to in prayer because they want us to live in heaven, right? When I talk to people and I talk to them in prayer, I talk to Maria Hendricks. I don't have her phone number. I don't have a phone that people can call me, but I talk to them. Okay. And then people, And they're like, what if you get, yeah, I already said that. I pointed that out with Ian. Regina King's fine son, we didn't talk until after he committed suicide. So I didn't get I didn't know who he was till he was already gone. That's completely heart-wrenching. Well, because I'm the guy from the book of Revelation that people talk to and ask questions, what's happening? Why is this still happening now? Why is this happening? Why aren't things getting better? Why aren't we living loving lives? Why is everything such horseshit and bullshit and so selfish and stupid, And then I don't hear about him until after he's committed suicide. That's what draws attention to the media to say, here's this young man. And nothing in the world makes you more, they Antoine LaVey and Marco Kino, their fate's worse than death. No. Why? Because if I'd been able to talk to Ian or know who Ian was before Ian committed suicide, when I'm finished cleaning up this hellhole and we're living the Lord's Prayer, I could talk to Ian at a barbecue instead of talk to his mom and cry because we miss Ian, assholes. Fucking jerks. Get on my nerves. Yeah, okay, you're going off to the rodeo with your picker in your hand and you're off to piss me off. Get on my nerves, fucking jerk. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that kind of stuff. So I don't think a lot of people in the world want to be the focal point of faithful communication to save us from genocide. Most people, you don't want to be. I want everybody to understand the applied physics and live it and then go home and live it. I don't want a large following of people going, what shall we do now? Cast thy sandal off and throw it aside. That's from the life of Brian. I know. Okay. I get it. Always look on the bright side of death. Stupid. I know. Girl. I saw the movie. Okay. Showed it to my mom. She said, Earl, this is blasphemous. It's like, no, not really, Mom. They make fun of all the people that have turned Jesus into a cult and then, it's bullshit and don't do anything he says to do, but say that he loves us and is going to save us from being complete assholes. Okay, maybe you could not be as big of assholes that need saving if you did more what he commanded you to do without self-righteous pretentiousness, Splinter in the plank, the splinter in the plank. One is a splinter, the other's a plank. All right. So you're funny. I know. I understand this, which I think in the very near future is going to freak out a lot of kids. This is a dude like Jesus. Yeah. Wow. This is cool. He's one of us. Yeah, I get it. I'm one of you. Yeah. Like the kids in lockup used to tell me. Mostly it was the Indian, native, Indian from India. Indian kids, and native kids and black kids and, has in native kids, because they call them Latinos, but they speak an occupier's language, but most of them come from people that are from here. Yeah, here. And they taught them Spanish, and if they spoke in their language, they didn't know what they were saying, they would brutalize them or kill them. Like Indian school, Carlisle Indian School in Phoenix, Indian school. That's why I sit there at Fort Lewis. Is like Fort Lewis was an Indian school. They kept the name. Oh, it's interesting. They changed the name from Raiders to Skyhawks, I guess to reflect more of the tradition of the people that went there at first. That's. I'll have to check more into that with the history of, and maybe go up and visit Durango. Durango's gorgeous. I love it. When we went through it with my dad, we went up past Farmington and went up, and it was a full moon that night, and the mountains were covered with snow. And you came across a pass, and it was breathtaking. It was gorgeous. It's one of the most beautiful sights I'd seen in my life when we came up there and we're heading into Durango on a full moon night with the mountains covered with snow. I was just like, oh, Dad, that's so beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah, it was a very beautiful place. And that was the only time I went through Durango. We were driving through and by on the road, there's like a highway or something going past town with the mountains. It was gorgeous. Yeah. One of the prettiest places I've ever seen. Another place I really enjoyed that we went through too, I talk about a lot too, is just Cedar City. Utah. We're going through this desert and all this stuff, and you go through Cedar, and Cedar's so pretty. It's up in the mountains, and it's a Milwaukee, the good land. It's a good spot. It's a good spot. You can't have too many people because the water there is, is very good water, but it can be used, to sustain some families that live there, but not a industrialized community too well. I wonder how they do that. I don't know. They said the same. They have the same issues because it's had headwaters through a lot. Not a big river runs through it, but they have headwaters up in Durango. That's why those areas, Tatooine is sparsely populated. It should be easy to find Anakin Skywalker, right? And being silly, but that's why a lot of those places are sparsely populated, is because you can only support a family, you know, so much, and so you have to take steps to make sure that you don't keep your wife constantly barefoot and pregnant. That you work together to take care of your kids and try to be in balance and harmony. So if you get out of balance and harmony, you watch your kids suffer and die because you were being selfish and not paying attention. It's really cool stuff. Jesus didn't have a phone, guys. Barboncito and Manuelito didn't have phones. Okay, Little Hawk didn't have a phone. Okay, so you have to know who the person is in prayer, and they have to have the story of your life. And when someone in our present has lots of conversations with people in our past, that means his life is part of prophecy in our religions. You get it? Okay. So that whole thing, you can only talk to Jesus because Jesus is God. Don't listen to that person. He's full of shit. He's Constantine and Jerome's monkey for money. Don't listen to him. When someone tells you that, he doesn't know what he's talking about. It doesn't say that in the book. Okay. Because Daniel talks to Gabriel, not to Jesus. Okay. Do you understand? They talk to Michael. They talk to this. Okay, so there's many different instances in the Bible where there are relative forms of interactive communication where the people in the past are talking to the people that are part of the prophecy of the person in the future. Do you understand? Okay, do you understand? And so, and that was the cool part that people in Turkey and the Kurds got excited about was, when they did the science projects, it's like, oh my gosh, this guy's literally, and the way the scientists saw it is it's self-fulfilling prophecy, and Jesus, all prophecy is self-fulfilling. In order to have a prophecy to be fulfilled, it has to be done by self. Zora Neale Hurston, their eyes was watching God. Your mama can't do it. They got to do it for themselves, right? Do you understand? Huh? Oh. Okay. So, yeah, I'm quite obnoxious. I understand that. But the thing about it is for good reason. Because when you read the Gospels, you have to look at them in relative terms. Relativity. And when they're explained by someone like Judah Krishnamurti or D.T. Suzuki, they do it thusly. When people had come to talk to Krishnamurti one time and he said, I came 2,000 years, and he laughed. He said, 2,000 miles, but he says, it might as well be the same. 2,000 years or 2,000 miles. I came this far to talk to you. And it's entirely tangible. Because for 2,000 years, this person's wondering what was the one that they call the Krishna or the Buddha really like. And they've turned it into myth, and I know it's not real. So I'd like to talk to the man that they have the prophecy to say, this is the man that's like the Krishna and the Buddha. And then they go talk to him. It's like, hey, this is nothing like the mythological bullshit for money. Ha ha, they can be taught. And the Krishna and the Buddha didn't have cell phones, right? You understand? Okay. God's omniscient and omnipotent. Okay. Past, present, future literally operate at the same time. People, how is that? Because of God's omniscient, omnipotent. Okay. If you know who someone is in year one, okay, And then there's prophecy about your life in 1966 pickup sticks, right? That means the people in year one asking about the future and needing help and helping the future so the present can lead to the world peace of year one, the commands of year one, that you need a continuation of faithful communications from year one to 1966. Okay. And so therefore they're communicating. Do you understand? While one is in year one and the other is born in 1966. So in 1976, or 74, if he's talking to the person prior to, quote, year one. He was crucified in year one. So when Earl was talking to Jesus, I don't know if I was talking to him prior to year one or if I was talking to him in the future. Okay. I didn't ask. Don't ask, don't tell. I'm just kidding. Apparently, my best, okay, there's no guess. Yeah, it was from the future. Well, because he sat and told me, he said, you're the one it is stupid to blow everybody up with nuclear weapons if you don't, get to abuse them with money. And it is stupid. And you're the man who's going to help me bring it to an end. Okay. So that shows more of an understanding and a knowledge from the future than from the past. Right? Because in the past, when I talked to Jesus when I was in Sierra Vista in the Garden of Gethsemane, he said, you have to go do it. And he's asking me why. I didn't do anything wrong. I've done everything the way I was supposed to. I've done everything perfectly. And they're still not going to, what do you mean? I've talked to this pilot guy. I think he's got his stuff together. He's going to throw it on all the people and they're afraid and they're going to crucify you. They're going to give in to their fears and they're not going to stand up for faith and not be afraid. But we're Hebrews, darn it. Yeah, I know. And then you get people's like Jesus, Daniel. Okay. Oh, just kidding around. But Daniel, the Hebrews look at the book of Daniel. Okay. They had a whole facile of Hebrews being abused by the Babylonians, right? Daniel, Hananiah, Azariah, and Mishael were the only ones that stood up for faith in Jehovah and to explain to Nebuchadnezzar, you're not a god. Break it down to it and prove it to him. Okay. And the one who did it, who had to do it most of the time solely by himself was Daniel. And Nebuchadnezzar, I'll take it out on your friends and wah, right. And so it was really tough. And those kind of things are horrible. And they still do the same thing today. If you don't comply, if you do not do what I wanted you to do, I will take it out on all the people. There'll be Alan Rickman on Die Hard. If I didn't get that one, maybe I'll get someone you really care about, right? And it's like, I care about everybody. But for some strange reason, the devil and Satan are not convinced that if they kill themselves, I'll be equally as sad as if they kill people that are really kind. And it's like, yeah, I'm going to be sad if you don't, cowboy, change your ways today, or with us you will ride. Because I've been really depressed during this second Trump administration. And most of the people dying during the Trump administration think I'm the devil and a cartoon character in their head is God and going to kill me and send me to hell eternally in their head. And I'm depressed about it. It hurts my feelings. Makes me sad. Okay. And it's not just because of the way it affects Emily and Kate and Noah and Natalie and Crummy and Pat. Okay. I raised them to be strong and to be kind no matter what assholes do to them. Okay. Don't stop streetlights, people. Oh, I like Steve Perry too, I guess. Okay. Don't stop believing. Loving, touching, squeezing. That's a good one. Yeah. You make me weak. I wanna die just when you said we try. Loving, touching, squeezing. each other. When I'm alone, all by myself, you're out. Anybody else like that song? With someone else, loving, touching. Your turn, girl, cry. Na 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 na. That's a good tune. Okay, haters. Okay. The girl can't help it. Do 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 do. Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo. That's all. Be all right without you. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Yeah, I like Journey. It's my first black lesbian wife. That's one of our favorite groups of all time. Is Journey. Yeah. People come to the house. The Al Green's hers, and the Journey's no. The Journey's she took it. It's mine, but it's yeah. That's her favorite. She's not as fond of Al Green as I are. You're like, I married a black girl, you dumbass. She married a white guy. Okay. Oh, now you're getting it. Okay. Boop boop doo. They can be taught. Boop 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 doo doo doo. Boop doo 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 doo. The bass guitar is good. That's Randy Jackson from American Idol. Yeah. If you like that guitar solo at the end of that song, it's yeah, with the bass guitar on it. That's Randy Jackson. Boop boop doo doo doo. Yeah. Hmm? You guys didn't know that? Yeah. Yeah, Buddy was all excited about it. They got this new good bass guitar player, Randy Jackson, has a lot of soul to their stuff. It makes it really, and he did. This is good stuff. You're like, wow, he's good. Yeah, he's very good. Okay, guys, I love you. If you can't stop being stupid and stand up for the Lord's Prayer, if you can't be an athlete, at least be an athletic supporter. I love you guys. Right, L, high school, nut jobs. Okay, peace out, man.